The economic collapse is here, and modern women will be the greatest victims. So, women don't understand that when societies and nations collapse, the greatest victims of these collapses are typically not men, unless men are barred from leaving these countries. When societies are collapsing, when nations are collapsing because of economic hardships, what happens first is that all the able bodied men begin to flee the country and go to other countries. And we've seen it countless times. Okay? Whenever other countries, I'm not going to name these countries, but in other regions of the world are experiencing very serious, harsh economic times, these men abandon their wives, abandon their children. That's if they're married, it doesn't matter. And they leave. They abandon their countries and they leave their countries. The women and children are left behind. This is what it looks like. The men walk away from society. That's why whenever you have wars break out in certain countries and certain things happen and certain crises happen, they will often bar the men from leaving the country. If you are 18 or older, you are typically told you cannot leave the country. When can I leave? When the country is rebuilt. Because once the men leave that country, it is no longer a country, it is a wasteland. Everything starts to fall apart. There's no more government. Why is there no more government? Because not only do the citizens leave, but the security forces leave, the military leaves. You think that these men are going to defend the country? You've got to be kidding me. There's no economy. There's no money. You think these men want to risk their lives and everything? Nope. The easiest thing for them to do is to walk away. It's the reality. Right now, we are headed for economic collapse. And I've said this before, that while society won't collapse, groups of people in society will collapse. Okay? It's going to be horrible. While the very wealthy will be mostly okay and insulated, especially those who have diversified their funds, there will be a lot of people who are wiped out. For example, people who have significant amounts of money in the bank, $500,000, $1 million, they're going to take massive hits. They're going to feel it. But of course, they're not going to feel it the way that the average person feels it, who doesn't have anything or very meager savings, or they're completely in the red. Oh my gosh, those people are really going to feel it. And you have to understand, women are going to be the ones that take the brunt of all of this because they're going to lose their jobs. The first jobs to go during economic hardships are the jobs most easily replaceable. This is an article. Check this out from Essence. Women are most at risk of losing their jobs to AI. Guys, as the collapse occurs, companies are going to use this as the perfect time to say, oh, well, you know what? We can't afford to keep these employees anymore. So we're going to transition to AI. That's when you're going to see the largest transition and transformation of the workforce in history. And the vast majority of people who are going to lose their jobs are going to be women. The men who lose their jobs, they're just going to pivot to other fields. The women who lose their jobs, they're not going to be able to replace those jobs. And it's going to be a rapid move it's going to be a rapid move to transition. And once you start to see different states rapidly rolling out, food delivery trucks and package, trucks that are automated, they don't have a driver, they deliver food, they deliver packages and all of these things. It's going to be a rapid transition. It's going to be a rapid transition. And it's going to provide a lot more benefits for the average person, because you won't have to sit around waiting all day anymore sometimes for your package to arrive. You may be able to schedule it. I'm just being very clear. There will be some benefits. Of course, companies will, screw it up. But regardless, one way or another, goodbye, drivers. Goodbye. Goodbye. And the companies, it's not that it's going to make it a lot cheaper for the average consumer, because the companies are going to keep all of the savings for themselves. And then, states are going to tax them. So they're going to say, well, you just wiped out all of these employees, so we're going to tax you for the job for using AI. And they're going to tax these companies, and for the loss of employees. And then they're going to keep those funds for themselves and say that they're going to use those funds for social welfare programs like food stamps and other things. And of course, the government's going to get in on it and say, oh yeah, we're going to collect those taxes to help Social Security and Medicare. And of course, the boomers are going to love this as well. Okay. So, and of course, so they're just all lining their pockets with the continuously deflating United States dollar. And it's not just in the United States, it's in the United Kingdom, it's Western society. A large number of people are afraid of what AI could do to their livelihood, but new research shows women should be the most concerned of all. Per a new report from HR analytics firm Revelo Labs, women workers are likely going to be the most affected by the looming AI revolution that's poised to overtake many human-held jobs. The report says that this is because of tech tools that can perform administrative or secretarial roles, which society has disproportionately relegated many women to perform due to gender biases. So check this out, guys. Notice how it's claiming that women are forced to do administrative and secretarial roles. Women are forced to take on administrative. They are forced to do these jobs. They're forced to do these jobs. They're forced to work in fast food predominantly. They're forced to predominantly work in the restaurant industry. They're forced to do these jobs. Guys, do you see what I'm saying? The victim mentality. They are always victims of society. They are forced to do these jobs. I'm telling you guys, it is going to be brutal out there. And guys, the simp economy, I've said this plenty of times, the simp economy is moving overseas. It's moving overseas. These women are not messing around. These women are not messing around. There's a channel on YouTube. I'm not going to play the videos, but the channel is called Jalay and Untold Stories. I'll link you to the channel so you can go and check it out. But it's actually pretty interesting. So this Filipina, she is a Filipina. She makes very provocative videos. In many of the videos, she'll be doing things like discussing very sensitive adult topics. So there's a lot of that subjects going on here. She'll do things like taking a bath, so she'll have clothing on, but she'll wash herself while doing these things. And of course, and she'll live stream it. And so she has a lot of simps that are watching this content, sending her money and so forth. Because, OnlyFools is actually not allowed in the Philippines. So these Filipinas, they are coming up with new ways to get the simps. Her channel has grown rapidly. Like I remember a time when when I had more subscribers than she did. Now she's at 114,000, and she may hit like 1 million. And you can see what I'm talking about. Like just look at the kinds of videos. Are Mountain Filipina smelly? And she takes a picture crouching down like this. Look at that. Okay. Jalay is a pickup girl / evening delight in Cebu City. How much my rate? And then she's in a swimsuit. All right. Look at it. Look, you think I'm joking? Foreigners love eating out young. Do you see this? First amazing experience with foreigner. Okay. Here's another one. Foreigner took 3 times to pop her. Okay. Oh, you think I'm playing around? Let's get disrobed in the shower. Let's get shower disrobed in the mountains. Oh, here's another one. Old dating with a wild Filipina is 60 still hard. So I mean, and guys, you can see the thumbnails. You can see the thumbnails. You know, here's another thumbnail. This is how much she cost. Pattaya, Thailand, and she's here with another woman. Like, so this is they are going hard after the simp economy. They're going hard after the simp economy. They're going hard after the men who are interested in this type of content. Like, I don't like, honestly, this is what we call soft adult content. And it is 100% adult content, but it is soft adult content. And they're basically walking the line and towing the line on platforms like YouTube and Instagram so they can put this out there and drag as many men in. Now you might say, well, that's just her, collecting money from simps this way. Guys, I want to show you something else. So here is a very recent video she posted. We finally meet as a couple. So she has a foreigner that she met, okay? And here's the video. So she met a foreigner online. This guy might be actually older. And she just met her foreigner. This is the simp economy at work, guys. Which man in his right mind would want to be in a relation would go and get into a relationship with someone that is posting this kind of content online? Think about that very carefully. Okay? And then look at the comments on her video. I never thought I would have a chance to find someone like Jalay, but this video shows I was wrong. Look at this other comment. Reynald, congrats, bro. I too found Mahal of my life. We're thrilled, happily married in Sud, Palomac, South Cotabato, Mindano. All right. Lovely Filipina says, congrats, beautiful host. Dork says, this reminds me of my partner and I meeting for the first time. We were both flying into the Philippines. Mark, he's a very lucky man. Nice video. So guys, I just showed you the kinds of content that she's posting online. I just showed you the types of videos that she's making. This is the simp economy right here. Women are not going to have this economy to rely on anymore. In Western society, the Filipinas are going hard for the simp economy. Women in other countries, guys, there was a woman who popped up on my video saying that she wanted a black boyfriend. Black boyfriend. Within no time at all, the next time I saw her, she had gotten her man, and she was in Afghanistan. I told you that women around the world were going to be competing for the men that women in Western society said that they did not want. Dating apps are showing that women are all competing for the same 1% of men. Over 80% of women are competing for the same 1% of men. And there's some guys who are like, oh, Angry, it's not true. You need to look at the statistics more carefully. What the statistics are really saying, bro, they are all competing for the same 1% of men. And a lot of guys cannot accept the reality that the women in Western society, they don't want us, but they need us. And that's why they resent the fact that they need us. But the fact of the matter is that the simp economy is going overseas. The women overseas are taking the simps. The simps see all the success that the passport kings have had traveling, and they're like, okay, well, I could stay here in this miserable hellhole, or I can go to another country where I'm treated like a king. It doesn't matter if she's a bar girl or not. They'll still treat. They still have culture. They still know how to cook, clean, and be fit, feminine, and friendly. So I'm going to get a much better bang for my buck. And again, you're dealing with simps. So they have very low standards. Okay? As long as their bellies are full and, that other thing is drained, they're happy. They're happy. And it doesn't matter what you tell them, they don't care. Modern women, as the economy collapses around us, and this is not the Great Depression. This is the Great collapse. This is the Great Collapse. Okay? It's not the Great Depression too. It's the Great Collapse. Because back during the Great Depression, the value of the money was still more consistent. So money still held value. The money now is going to erode down to nothing. It's gonna be horrible. It's good, and people don't even want men don't want to work anymore. So men are not going to go out and try to solve this and fight. They're going to retire into their homes as they're already doing because they're not marrying, they're not having children, they don't have a dog in the fight, and they're going to live simple lives of luxury because the average man can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road. Men are not going to create additional wealth. They're not going to go out there and fight to rebuild. There's no rebuilding. Men have taken their ball, they've gone home, and they've given up on Western society. Not that they've given up on life, but they have given up on Western society, and they are walking away from Western society and relationships in Western society to prioritize self-care and self-preservation. What men are saying right now is that, no money, no honey. You will don't call me honey if you don't have money. That's what they're saying to women today. They're not looking for women on Instagram anymore. All right? They're not talking to girls on Instagram. She needs to have a LinkedIn. Okay? She has to have something to lose. She cannot be some girl who works at McDonald's and thinks that she's going to roll up and say, okay, now take me on an $800 date. No, she needs to be able to afford to take you on an $800 date. She needs to be able to show that she has value and she has money in her bank account. The simp economy is disappearing, guys. The simps you can see it. Ladies of the night said that their earnings have fallen by 60% in 2023. Okay? They call it the Lady of the Night Index, but what it really is it's the simp index. When simps don't have money to spend, it's a sign that economic collapse is on the way. That the economy is spiraling down and that we're heading into a recession. But we're heading into a deep, it's going to be a very deep economic collapse. And of course, people think that, oh, well, depending on who's in the office, they can fix the problem. They cannot fix the problem. It doesn't matter who's in office come 2025. None of these people can fix the problem. Even trying to delay it is not going to happen. They cannot fix it. They cannot delay it. The best they can do is try to slow it down, and they don't want to slow it down because the greater the inflation, the lower the value of the debt that they owe is. So they can basically offset the debt and have people in Western society basically absorb all of it. So they're devaluing our money, and by devaluing our money, it devalues the debt that they owe because the United States cannot afford to make its interest payments anymore. It cannot, we have $34 trillion in debt. We accrued most of that debt over the last 30 years. Think about the insanity. We accrued most of this country's debt. Like 30 trillion of that was accrued over the last 30 years. This is insane. Absolutely insane. Gone are the days where we worry about having a $1 trillion in debt or a couple $100 billion in debt. We're $34 trillion in. And a lot of that debt was accrued in just like the last 4 years. Like the national debt over the coming years is going to surge again from 34 up to 40. It's almost 35. It's almost 35 trillion. And it's going to surge up in the coming years to 40 trillion, or maybe as high as 45 to 50 trillion. Just within 10 years or less. And there's no way we can pay our interest back. So the only way to go about there's no way we can make our interest payments on that. So the only way is to devalue the value of the money, devalue the value of debt. So if the debt is worth less, then the state can get away with covering the cost using bonds and a variety of other things, as it manipulates to find out the money supply, and the average consumer, the value of their money deteriorates down to nothing. The boomers already own their assets. They already own their houses. They already own their cars. They already own most of the things that they need to survive. Okay? They've already lived their lives, had their fun, had their children. So they're not having any more children. The vast majority of boomers are not having any more children. Okay? They're not having any more children. They're not purchasing any homes. They're not purchasing any new cars, anything. They have what they need. So when it comes to Social Security and pensions and that stuff, it's just money for them. They have money in the bank. They have this other money coming in, and even for some of them, it won't be enough, but it's better than nothing compared to other generations that have literally nothing. Literally nothing. Gen Z is done. There's no coming back for Gen Z. Like, there's no coming back for Gen Z. Guys, don't forget that I have another channel called Angry, where I discuss gaming, anime, nerd stuff, geek stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me. There's a link to a description of the video. Go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Support my work. And if you're enjoying the content on the Angry Guy channel and you want even more of this content, you can head over to the Men Walking Away channel, where I release daily videos. There's a link to the Men Walking Away channel description of the video. You can go check it out. Subscribe to my channel. Support my work. What do you guys think regarding all of this? The economic collapse is here, and modern women will be the greatest victims. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away, and cheers.